Grand Rising family, one love, and good first day of the week to you guys. Yep, I just said I shoot a video about I ain't ate meat in almost 2 months. I'm just gonna check in and say how I'm feeling. I don't know. I don't, I don't feel too much difference because already, even though I was eating meat, I was only eating chicken, turkey. Turkey was the most thing. Turkey and chicken was the most, and I used to have fish sometimes. I really stopped. I had stopped liking the fish because of that mercury, and a lot of worms, parasites. A lot of parasites was in fish, man. So cause they dirty up the water, all that pollution and shit hit the water. So there was a lot of parasites in fish, and so I really ain't do fish as as much, you know what I mean? But I still used to eat fish, fried, you know. When I used to fry, even though I didn't used to fry all the time. The most frying I used to eat is when I used to be with my ex. She used to fry all the time. My baby mama, she used to fry all the time. You know what I mean? So she'll force me to eat fried. But other than that, I really ain't eat fried too much. When it was up to me cooking, I used to like baked food tastes better. I've been eating oven fried chicken wings for I forgot what year I discovered I could oven fried chicken wings. And they taste just like fried. So when I discovered that, I really stayed away from frying a lot. Yo. And you know, I don't know. I never had no diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure. Like I never turned into one of them fat people. I never was no glutton. Like a glutton mean to me is like I used to eat the wrong things like fatty foods and stuff, but I ate more food than anything. I never was no cake eater. I didn't like cake really, but I liked it. I liked it, the taste of cheesecake, but I didn't like it. I didn't want to eat that shit every day because it had eggs in it. Shit was kind of disgusting. That eggs was always funny to me. So I never really was like no super cake eater. I didn't have to go to no gas station getting no honey buns and shit like that. Even though I had them as a kid and shit like that, but when I was grown, I really wasn't into that. Like I remember I used to buy a big bag of chips, Doritos, like when I was still eating Doritos and shit like that back in 2009 and 10 and shit like that. I have Doritos. I ate Doritos all the way up to 2014. But my eating them is I never ate them every day. I'll buy a family bag because we'd go shopping. This was the Walmart days when I used to get my groceries from Walmart, and we'd get family bags of chips. My baby mama, she used to love chips and shit like that. She used to love all the crap and snacks and really, so I buy chips and stuff for the kids. She loved the kids, all they snacks and candy. My kids ain't even used to drink water. They used to drink Kool-Aid and juice and stuff like that all the time, and it'd be me, the dad. It'd be the dad, like, damn, why don't you give him some water? I'm the one start snatching the cups, the juice out their hand. Back when I still was buying Kool Aid and shit like that, I was drinking it, but I still had a conscience in the back of my head, like, come on, like you can't just be keep giving them juice and candy all day and don't get that cup. My little son, he was a little baby. He was months. And when he first started getting up to stand up, and that nigga kept a cup of juice in his hand, a bottle, ha ha. Yep. That was all his teeth was riding at first. Ha 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 ha. He was little. That nigga teeth was riding. He had to, that bitches fell out so he could get his white babies. Now his teeth healthy, white, strong, because since 2014, I cut that shit out of our lives. So, you know, but back to the story, I used to be buying chips for the family, and I buy me a big bag of Doritos because that's the chips I like. And shit, about my ex girl, she'd be stalking them damn chips so bad because I would only eat them like if I made a sandwich, I put some on my plate or something like that. If we had hamburgers, I eat, and then I have that big family bag of Doritos. If it was up to me, them bitches would be there for a month. And this when I was, you know, at my biggest, like back in 2009 and shit, 10 and 11, that was my biggest years. And shit, my baby mama, before I look up, it be my time for a daily dose of chips. I'll be one of the sound. I look up, the whole bag gone. I was like, damn, I can't have. She be like, well, shit, you keep them too long. Moral of that is, I was never no, you know, indulge and shit. I indulged more in food. The main thing I liked it back then was corned beef. I love the corned beef. That was like my favorite food. But you know what? When I got chemical cautious, that's what I'm gonna start calling it. I mean, no, chemical conscious. When I had got chemical conscious, I left corned beef alone while I was still eating beef. Cause I was still eating beef up until 2017. I think 17, 18, 17. I can look on my Facebook. I remember last thing I had beef was like some steak tacos or something like that. Steak and chicken fajitas or something like that. That was like 2017 or 18. But I had stopped. I had ran into this dude. I was at the park, and he had came over and started kicking it with me. He started talking about beef. He was like a ex doctor or some shit like that. Man, he was telling me about beef, how it messed his stomach up. Steak, and he said it take when he told me that it take a steak. Um, I forgot how long to get through your intestines, how long your intestines is, and it take it that long to get through for you to digest it. I ain't ate it no more that day. I ain't ate beef after that day. I'm like, damn, it take that long, So I really, I I forgot what I was even talking about. But yeah, I really was always. I can't say health conscious because I was eating chemicals and shit like that. But once I came away from them chemicals, I had stopped eating corned beef. I had stopped eating beef, and you know, so I don't. The whole moral of the story was about how I feel right now as a vegan. I mean, it was like a slow process for me for everything. Like everything was leaving at once. So I don't really feel like no super burst because no, like I said, the last meats I was eating was chicken and turkey a couple months ago. And even then I was always active. Like even back then in my biggest days, 2009, 10, and 11, my 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 ex-wife, she stayed in her and my kids, they stayed in an apartment complex, and it was a big complex like and I used to walk through it, exercise every morning. I used to walk my daughter to school, and this was at my biggest, 400 pounds. Exercise every morning, walk my daughter to school, come in. I had like a hand. I didn't have a gym then, but I had like always kept that type of shit, a weight or something around me. Like it's a weight right. Yup. I keep a weight around me. Like here go one right here. I keep a weight or something always around. That was like a shit I've been doing since a kid. When I was a kid, I used to I had a weight bench. My dad, I don't know where he got it from, but it turned into mine. I remember I was a little kid. like 5 years old and shit, 4 years. My dad, my big brother, be bringing a weight bar to my chest and had me pushing it. So, I come from that. So I never was a too messed up person. I never my legs and shit was always a nice size, and you could always see my structure in my calf muscle. No matter what size I was, because I was cutting hair. So and I was cutting hair in the basement. So I'd be running up and down the stairs to open the door for people and shit. And this was at my biggest. So I don't really feel too much of a change. Nothing. I don't feel weaker. I don't feel stronger. Um, I don't know. I never was slipping on nothing. Like even I don't want to get too personal, but with sex, I always, always performed it good. Especially when I was comfortable with the woman to get to know her. Like every man might be nervous and pop one quick or something. That ain't got nothing. But every time I was at attention, and then and once getting that groove out, I know how to move and do my thing. We never had no problem. No matter how big me and my wife was, ex-wife, we never had no problem in that category in that station. Like we show y'all how to make a movie for real. That's how back in the back we used to get all the way through. Like we never had no arguments for no cheating, or I never caught her cheating or none of that type of shit. Probably people probably do shit on sneak, but she never really had to. We always had a blast on that, no matter what size we were. And so, and right now I'm still a lover man. Yeah, I ain't nothing too much drastically changed. I always feel good. Always been in a good mood. Ever since I was young, I never was no stressed person. I never been depressed ever in my life. I never been stressed. You know, always been a go getter. So I don't really know what changed. Oh, another one thing changed. I don't be hungry like that, even though I never was no super gouger food. I used to would eat like 2 3 plates. Like I eat a plate, then want some seconds, and then later on that night I make it again. And then I was eating at funny times. Like right now at a time I'll probably eat a plate, just think about or eat some of that shit. But now I like today I ate that meal I showed. Like when I show a meal on here, that be basically what I ate that day. I had ate that meal earlier, the lunch with the baked beans and stuff. And then I got some I eat like a handful of these raisins and peanuts. I love them. So I don't know what I just feel good like I always have. I feel good. I know one thing, like these pants right here, these are a size 50. These like some pants I had for a few years too. Where the thing at? Oh, here it goes. Yup, these like these are size 50. Yup, size 50, 30, and they if I ain't had that belt on there, they'd be falling to the floor. But I've been wearing that size 50 for I had these jeans like for the last 3 years. They just some jeans I work in, go around. I had them for like the last 3 years I've been wearing. But now I think I'm to a 48. I used to well I know I am. I used to wear a size 6X shirt and a size four six 7X shirt and size 56 jeans. My last shirts I've been buying was 4X. I can show y'all in the mirror. I'll be right back. Yep. My bad. I got my drawers on, family, but this a 4X jacket, and I had this jacket since 2003. That's what I used to wear back in '03. I remember I had the Jordans with it. It was fresh. And a few years ago, I couldn't put this jacket on. It was too tight. Like last year I started. That's why I saw it. Last year I started putting it on, but it was still tight. It's more looser now. My legs never was no. I ain't never had no big leg. I was always athletic, played basketball. I wasn't never like I ain't you know my back ain't all busting out like I was. You know I ain't, but my back ain't bust out and all that. Like since I showed y'all that picture, I was real big. But I like that, baby, big dog. I ain't gonna never be no skinny nigga. I got muscle in there, baby. Big nigga. My waist, my size used to poke out. I ain't been like that in a while. Pause. I'll be right back. But yeah, I don't feel too much different, but I do see a change. Like my clothes is down to a 4X 48. In high school, when I was in the 12th grade, I wore 3X shirts in size 44. As used to be my Guess. I used to wear Guess jeans and Jabos high. They was a size 44, and my shirts was a 3X. So now I'm a 48 and a 4X, and the type of clothes I wear. Now that new age shit, tight shit, I wouldn't judge myself on that. But real nigga clothes, like Nautica and shit like that, and, real nigga clothes, polo. I buy polo shit like that is 4X, and size 48 now. I ain't bought no 48 jeans yet, but I know I gotta get them because these 50s is too big. So it's gonna be a process, but it's been one. I already been on this, mission since a kid, and we was attacked by chemical foods. Chemical foods blew our bodies up. Like a lot of us not even fat like you think. Like we got muscle structure and shit, but it's some in them chemicals and shots that blew us up out of proportion. You feel me? But you know, that's when I started feeling good and better when I left those chemicals alone. Even though the chemicals ain't had me all messed up like it have some people. Like I said, people out here stressed. People out here crazy. People out here take medicine. Or I never took medicine. I never had diabetes or none of that. But it probably was coming. If I would have went to a doctor, they would have told me I had it. They would have told me I had high blood pressure, but they wouldn't have told me to leave high corn fructose and MSG alone. They would have said, "Huh, yup, take this in moderation, and then, here go this shot. Here go these pills." So I don't feel too. I do feel good, like always. I always feel good. Like I said, I just don't eat as much. A little bit get me fuller. Um, I'm still a good person. I'm still active. More active than I was in 2009. More active than I was in 2014. Even though 2014, I was walking miles, not every day. Sometimes well, I was every day at some points. Like I always go through that. I get on it real tough, and then I slack off. I get on it every day, and then I won't do it for 2 months. So that's just, I guess that's part of just being a human being. But I never was down and out. I always been a big fella, always had nice women, always carried myself clean, you know. I, you know, so I guess I feel the same right now as I always, but I know it's just getting better, like I always been getting better since I left them chemicals, since I've been chemical conscious. But it's a long video. I ain't mean to make this video that long. But I'm gonna check back in and tell y'all how I feel a little later with the veganism. But I do feel good, like James Brown. Well, one love family. Everybody enjoy y'all first day of the week.